There's a movie called Peaceful Warrior. Anybody seen that movie about a Zen Buddhist gymnast? Look out. I love the movie. I do. And I even, when I watched it, I didn't want to miss a word of it, and so I did the subtitles so I could read. Just weird like that, I guess. I don't want to rot my brain, so I'm reading too. So I read every word of it too as I watched it. I love the movie. I love it. There's some very powerful parts in that movie. And Buddhism has some very huge truths that we need to hear. But there's this scene towards the end of the movie where the enlightened one, the teacher, who they call Socrates throughout the movie, who Socrates takes his pupil, the gymnast. His name is, what's his name? Millman. Something Millman. I forget. His last name is Millman. So he takes Millman, his pupil, and he says, after all this training, this rigor, this learning, this enlightening and gymnast stuff, he takes his pupil and he says, "You're finally ready." His pupil, Millman's like, Dan's his name, Dan Millman. Dan says, "I'm ready." He's like, "Yeah, you're ready. You're ready for this." "Okay, I'm ready." And he's so excited. And they're going to go on this journey up this mountaintop, this pinnacle of his training. He's ready. He's finally ready. So they go on this journey. Socrates leads him up to the mountain. And they're at the very top of the mountain. And Millman's like, "What is it? What is it? What's up here? I can't wait to see what's at the end of this journey." And Socrates looks down and he picks up a stone, just a single stone like this. And he throws it on the ground and he says, "That's what's up here." And Millman's like, "That's it? A stone? I came this whole way and there's just a stupid stone? That's it? I don't get it. What's the point?" And Socrates, very profound, says, "It's not the destination that brings you happiness, but it's the journey." And Socrates looks at Millman and he says, "What changed about you, Millman? What changed about you? This whole way up the mountain, you were running and skipping. You were like a kid on Christmas. You couldn't wait to get to the top of the mountain. What changed now that you got to the top? What changed?" And Millman realizes. He says, "Oh, well, maybe the point is the journey. Maybe the point isn't the destination. Maybe the destination stinks. Maybe it's not worth it, just like this rock isn't worth it." And that is exactly what the Bible does not say. Let me ask you a question. Does your life every day feel like you're a kid at Christmas? No. Life is terrible. Life is heavy and hard and obnoxious. We don't get it. We don't run and skip around every day. Life is horrible. Only an idiot who hasn't lived a second in our shoes would get that. Only someone who hasn't suffered, who hasn't been brought to the altar again and again, who hasn't seen parents die, or get stabbed in the back by friends. At the mountain, there's a throne. At the mountain, it's worth it. The Bible says it's going someplace. We win. We win. It's like we need a new pair of glasses. You need a new prescription. And I hope that this moment can be the moment where you get a new prescription. You get your God glasses on. The Apostle John had his God glasses on in Revelation chapter 5. Because when John looked, he saw the Lamb that was slain. The bloodied Jesus who was slain on the altar. John looks and he sees the Lamb in Revelation chapter 5. Then John looks and he sees the Lion. Have you ever read that? Read Revelation chapter 5. There it is, the Lamb who was slain on the altar. John says, I looked and I saw the Lion. Like, what? Are your eyes wigging out on you? John had his God glasses on. Did you know that in the ancient times, the Hebrews, when they would make a throne, the statues that they would have at both sides of the throne, there would be lions sitting there. Because lions represent victory. Lions represent we win. Lambs represent sacrifice. John went to look for sacrifice, and what he saw was victory. Is it an altar? Or is it a throne? What do you see right now? Is this an altar? Or is it a throne? Do you see sacrifice? Or do you see victory? Do you see a lamb? Or do you see a lion? Which one? Look at your trial. Look at your brick. What's written on your brick? Is that a sacrifice? Or is it a victory? Which one is it? Which one is it? Do you have your God glasses on? Which one is it? Have you asked yourself? I've seen a lot of people, including myself, putting bricks up here. Were we building our own altars? Or were we building our thrones? Were we preparing to lose? Or were we preparing to win? I've talked with so many of you this week. I've got to hear some pretty cool stories. I got to talk with Andrew from the chapel. And Andrew was telling me about himself, and I was pretty amazed at his enthusiasm and his character and his passion to connect with people. And I thought, where does this come from? Andrew told me that when he was 9, his dad walked out on the family. I thought, whoa, your dad walked out. Just when a kid needs their dad the most, that's the age. And his dad left. And do you know what Andrew told me? I was trying to empathize with him, using all my pastoral and counseling abilities, saying, Andrew, that must be awful. And it was. But you know what he told me? He said, now I know how not to be. I'm not going to be like my dad. Is it an altar? Or is it victory?